Hey guys, thanks for coming by. No, it's not Credigan today. I was just missing for one day and people are already complaining. Um, so no, you just stuck with me today. And we'll talk Bitcoin and we'll talk some majors, I think. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm a little bit early, so I'll give it like a minute or two, just chatting with you guys in the chat until everyone's here. But before we start that, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this show, Bybit. They've made this possible, so thank you very much. If you do want to check them out, the links in the description. So yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, how are you guys doing? Everything all right? Angelo hacked. Lol. Yep. It's what I figure anyway. Like I've got some friends that are in close connection to him, and like Loomdart, for example. And Loomdart told me he's pretty certain it's a hack. And I mean, I wouldn't expect Angelo to act like he did. So yeah, I'm like almost certain it's either a troll or a hack. So yeah, gotta be careful there. Don't send your money to anyone ever. Just yeah, just because it's crypto doesn't mean you can send your money around just randomly, right? Um, so yeah. Should I? Nah, I'll just keep it like that, like this. Um, how much he lose? No, it's like it's not him. It's someone else that hacked him. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, already received 7.5 Bitcoin. I think it's an old address. It already had inflows and shit. So I'm almost certain it's not that amount. Don, it's been a while since a big dump has happened during your stream. I think it's time. Yeah, it might be, man. It might be. But given that we haven't really moved much, who knows, right? Who knows? But yeah, so I'm back from my vacation, and I'm surprised that it didn't dump more during it. Like, I mean, I went to vacation here, shorted, and ever since then, I mean, we're down like how much? 200, $300. Not as much as I'm used to, but yeah. So let's start with analyzing this, see where we think it's headed and stuff, and when it's heading there. Because honestly, it's getting boring right now, right? So yeah, let's start. Monthly, nothing changed. We don't need to talk about this really. Um, Still the same. Ran into resistance, got rejected. I'm assuming it's going to support, right? We talked about this plenty of times. Don't need to repeat myself. The weekly, same story, rejected by resistance here. Perfect close at the resistance. Didn't quite get the 10.5 level, but I mean, given that a lot of people were trying to short above it, I mean, I'm not surprised. These kind of levels tend to get front run a couple times. Um, so yeah, ran into resistance, got rejected, and is now kind of like floating downwards, right? Nothing much for the weekly, really. Like, there's nothing going on that's like too important, I think. Um, there's not really any close that I would say is super significant, so we'll close over this as well. The weekly is only gonna get interesting down here or up here. Anything in between, I think. I mean, you can say, okay, this is support down here, right? But that's already been used a couple times, so can ignore that. Not really interesting. Um, so yeah, one of the time frames that I like to watch that not that many people watch is the 3 day, which actually had a really nice close at resistance into rejection a couple days ago. So that's one thing that I'm watching. Like, oftentimes when the 3 day and the 1 day give like confluence, you kind of get a good early indication that a move is coming. So you got to close that resistance here. That's something to keep an eye on. Makes it more likely to head down. That's why I'm still in favor of this going down rather than going up. But really, with these kind of consolidations, right? These kind of things happen often. Like these kind of things happen often. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, right? I hope this is gonna happen. Still, I think it's the more likely course. Reason being is the altcoins. We'll talk about those in a second as well. But I mean, I could also see the 10.5 rate into a move down. We've talked about this before as well, so not gonna go too deep into it. If you wanna know my kind of thoughts on that, just rewatch 1 week ago, the Friday episode from like not last week, but from the week before. That's why I kind of explained it in depth. I don't want to do it again. And the daily is the one that's the most interesting. We've been talking about this a lot, but I'll just the reason why I'm just gonna go over it again is because it's the most clear, in my opinion. It's the most clear chart that we have right now. So I'll go over it and tell you guys what I see. So what we've been doing on the daily is take out highs and then sell off, right? Take out high or have a pattern breakout. Either way, like both work, and then sell off. It happened 3 times here, and what we had and what I was watching for a while back was a reclaim of this 9.2 level, 9.250. And I was like, okay, if that gets reclaimed, we're probably heading higher. But the way it did was really inconclusive, in my opinion, because usually when I have a level and the price breaks below it and I want to see, like, and I'm like, okay, if this level gets retaken, I'm going to be bullish. What I want to see is a rally above the level and then you get closes above the level, right? In this case, you got a rally and that candle closed through the level, and then the next candle closed below the level. Then you had another rally into this diagonal resistance, got rejected again, closed again below the level, closed through the level, closed below the level, closed through the level. You get what I'm saying, right? And there was not one candle close above the level other than the move above the level, right? So you have this candle um, moved through the level, closed through the level. Next candle didn't manage to. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. And now, yesterday, things changed where we actually had a move below the level again, and then a close at the level. So that's something that bulls don't want to see because it means that you've had some indecision at the level. People really didn't know, is it going to be support or resistance, and it turned out it it got lost and it's now resistance, right? So it's clear resistance in my opinion right now, where we kind of retested it from the underside and are now selling off a little bit. So I mean, I'm gonna be I'm gonna remain at the side of the bears just because for me this is another shakeout now. Like you could add this to the list. It's a little bit less clear than the ones before, but I think it's close enough, right? So you have the reclaim of the trading range, never really managed to hold above, and are now selling off. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of moving down, and I could see that accelerate at some point. So I'm thinking we're going lower. Gonna reconsider the moment we start trading back above 9260 and actually get a close and a subsequent, I think that's the word, close above it, right? So that's what I'm watching for. But until then, planning for lower. Does that make any sense? Is it too confusing? Or yeah, do you get it? Oh no, Kretz in the chat again. I don't like watching Don's streams. I always see the chat just say how much better his sessions are than mine. That's not true, dude. That's not true. people always complain when I'm on. You just ignore the good things that I said about you and focus on the bad things. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a duck dude. Always gonna be, always gonna be the best streams with a duck. He's booing you. Yeah, he might be. Who knows? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for on a. I mean, what I've been looking for. The 1 day and the 3 day rejection kind of paint a bad picture for me. That's just kind of makes me think this is probably gonna head lower now. Then again, I've been saying it's probably gonna head lower for a while now. I mean, I've been bearish since 10K, and I mean, price hasn't really moved since then, right? I mean, it sounds like, oh shit, 10K, 9K, but like a 10% move isn't really much for Bitcoin. And I mean, ever since I turned bearish here, right, it's been a shitload of time, and like 7 days, and we've barely moved. So who knows? But I just think it makes more sense to expect this to get rated at least. And then we're gonna have to wait and see, right? I could see this explode upwards. Um, the only reason why I'm like leaning heavily bearish, and I'm like, I don't really mind sitting in a position. Like I got into my position, I went for vacation, was because of the altcoins, and the specific reason being that the majors look really shitty while the small coins are pumping, right? It's kind of something that we've seen in the past, and it usually happens before Bitcoin starts selling off. So that's why. And I mean, you can look at like everything, every major besides ADA and ETH is looking really bad right now. So ADA just looks good, right? I mean, I wouldn't long this, but it doesn't look bad. So I'll just ignore this because, like, why would you long after like this kind of move when everything else is looking bearish, right? So not interested in buying the dip on this. We're not really interested in shorting just yet because technically this looks good. So I'm just ignoring it. It's how I do it usually when I'm like, okay, I don't really want to be a bull on something because I mean generally all coins I don't like to be a bull anywhere but capitulation lows, but I don't want to be a bear either, so I just don't trade it, right? A lot of people are like, oh yeah, but gotta pick a side. No, you don't. You can just stay on the sidelines too. That's totally fine. So yeah, big ADA and ETH, fine, still chilling, right? But if you look at the other ones, Bitcoin Cash, and we can look at the lower time frames. Bitcoin Cash losing the range low again, or starting to lose it anyway. Um, I think this 3 day level. Yep. So the 3 day level is at support, but it's really I wouldn't want to be in any kind of long position on this coin. Not like this is just looking really bad. So you have a range low here, right? And you have bounce, 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 and then you get like a good sell off into the level. You get a rate of the low here. So you have this low gets taken out, and then the only thing that gets like that this coin manages is this kind of tiny rally. That's not really good, in my opinion. It's something you don't want to see, even more so because other altcoins had been doing well, right? So other altcoins, like you see some other altcoins go like this, and Bitcoin Cash goes like this. Then you know something like something's amiss. You don't want to be stuck in this, I think. So yeah, looks bearish to me. I mean, I wouldn't want to short it. I'm still looking for longs, but looking for longs much lower. So yeah, Bitcoin Cash looking bad. So we have two that look decent, but that I wouldn't want to long. And then you have Bitcoin Cash that looks really bad. And I mean, that's something I definitely wouldn't want to touch on the long side. And then you have Litecoin, same story. High time frame support hit and then just barely does anything. That just looks to me like it wants to go lower. On the high time frames as well. Like look at this. There's just nothing really, right? So it's tiny bounce. Like you want to see this stuff on altcoins, like a sharp sell off into reversal, sharp sell off into reversal, and even in this case, where it wasn't as sharp, and I mean the reversal wasn't as high, right? Um, you've had some sort of sell off here into an acceleration to the upside. This isn't accelerating to the upside, it's literally just 2 green candles or like 3 green candles after a sell off. So yeah, not liking this either. EOS, same story here. TRX, a little bit better, but still pretty bad. XRP, same story, right? It's one of the ones that I think looks the best from like the bad looking ones, but nothing good. And when I see that kind of stuff, like all the majors, like there's no confidence in the majors, right? And then you have smaller coins pumping. That just makes me think there's really nothing, like no new money coming into space, into the altcoin space anyway. It's just money recycling, right? You get some money from these coins, from the bigger ones, go into the cool new coins like DeFi and all that kind of jazz that is pumping, like Dogecoin. Like you had Dogecoin pump, that was recycled money, I think. So I'd be careful with the majors, and I mean, just because I'm careful with the majors, I expect that to kind of like once they start breaking down, I think the entire other coins will follow. So it's kind of like a game of musical chairs, in my opinion. Could be completely wrong on that, but whenever I see the majors do really, really poorly, I'm expecting the music to stop at some point. So I'm expecting the music to stop for the altcoins, and then if you haven't taken profit at that point, you're gonna be stuck with it. So um, pick your targets if you're in one of the coins that is pumping really hard. I mean, for Dogecoin, we said it, like I said it last week, that you should be selling the highs, and I mean, it's almost retraced the entire pump. Could obviously go higher. Who knows, right? It's just my feeling and like my experience in the market tells me that I better be careful now. So I'm gonna be careful. Musical chairs. There's a good casual Friday idea. Jesus. He's so bearish, his mind is blanking out Link. I mean, Link's the same deal, dude. Like, I'm not bearish Link, right? I'm just saying Link doesn't matter in the grand scheme, right? You get all these coins, right? People are just taking money from their coins and putting it into Link. Can that continue forever? Who knows, right? I don't think it will, but I mean, maybe. Um, but I don't think there's much new money coming into the altcoin space. But I could, like I said, I could be wrong. I'm just whenever I see something like this, this is not a chart that I want to be a buy of, and I usually use the majors to kind of see how high the confidence in the market is in the altcoin market. Uh, could just be that these are like outdated now, and they're gonna just keep on going down while new stuff comes up. But I think they're still too big for that. So yeah, that's just my view, right? If you don't agree, I mean, my view and what I'm telling you guys, and what I'm doing is pretty much doing nothing, right? Just sitting there doing nothing, not taking the risk. If you want to take the risk, right? Like, I mean, that's nothing to do with me. Wait, what? Oh, Jesus. I have a feeling like my Twitter's gonna get hacked too if this continues. What the fuck? That is crazy. So yeah, that kind of looks like a hack as well. Don't click on this kind of shit. Um, so Is that the official? Yeah, Jesus Christ. So yeah, Angela got hacked earlier, and it kind of seems like Binance, like it's not the site Binance, right? Don't rush to Binance and try to withdraw. It's just a Twitter, right? So it kind of looks like a Twitter exploit or something's going around. If you see any kind of link or any kind of shit from my profile, um, asking you to send money or some shit, don't click on it, right? So yeah, but that doesn't really have any impact on the market. It's just I mean, I hope it's not gonna hit everyone because that suck. But like as bad as it sounded, just hope. I just hope it's just an exploit or not an exploit, but just an OPSEC error from their part. Binance follows you even though CZ has you blocked. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good friends with one of like the Binance kind of not good friends, but I know the person that manages Binance Twitter account. Bitcoin hack next? No, I don't think so. But yeah, let's keep going, right? So yeah, the majors not looking too good. The miners, I mean, you've got some retraces going on. Um, Tether, I've been saying like I think this was it. This is the pump. So you got kind of like a nice exit here. I don't know if it keeps going or not. I just think like like last time you've had this pump and then dump. Uh, I'd expect the same thing to happen again. VAT, nothing going on there really. Dogecoin is the one that is interesting because you've had this TikTok stuff going on, and even with that, you get these retraces. And I think the moment, like, I'm actually not sad about this happening because I think the moment it starts getting back at 20, 25, like sats around where it pumped, it's probably going to capitulate actually, and I think it might actually instantly capitulate to my bid. So hoping for that, hoping that people that FOMO bought this capitulate into my bids. Um, but then again, I could be the idiot that doesn't buy like the higher low here that this might turn into. I mean, for me, it doesn't look like it, but it's always got to be prepared for this kind of stuff. Um, So that's why I'm not necessarily like I wouldn't want to short here, right? For me, like I'm looking at this market in a long mindset, like the altcoin market in general. Um, I just don't think it's time, but yeah. Can you look at Atom? We can look at Atom, yeah. I mean, that doesn't look too bad. I should remove this. This is old, but kind of funny how this called the top just went down quite a bit more than I thought it would. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to say about it. I mean, you've just had a consolidation into move up into resistance, right? So you've got weekly resistance here. Um, it's actually got rejected by the top of the. It's so funny how TA works sometimes. Like just drawing lines works, but yeah, got rejected there. Got rejected again. Um, like if you're bullish, you're expecting something like this and then a smash through, and if you're bearish, I mean, you'd expect something like rounding out here and then heading lower. I don't think it makes much sense to want to be bearish just because we've had the consolidation in here, a nice move up. So yeah, but like whenever I get asked about these coins, it's always at resistance. So like what I can say is, okay, if you're bullish, just buy the pullback. I wouldn't necessarily want to buy into resistance. So it's really hard to say what's going to happen at this point, right? If you're asking me, I would add some at support. It's a little bit easier to say, okay, because like for me, like shorting these coins isn't really something I want to do. I want to like normally I want to long these, right? In general, even though I'm not the biggest fan of altcoins, I just prefer longing them over shorting them because really there's much more return in longing an altcoin, right? Let's say it does a times 4, times 5. Um, that's much more of a return than it going down 50% while you're short. So generally speaking, I want to be longing, not shorting. So yeah, I don't even know if I would have liked the bottom down here. Honestly, like whenever you get major coins at support, and this is what these coins are really useful for, like Bitcoin Cash and that kind of stuff, is they hit support, the smaller coins bounce. These coins do nothing, but they chill at least at the support. So something that's really useful to do is just draw out supports on the big coins, not bitcoins, but big coins, um, and then just transfer. Like whenever you those get hit, you just kind of say, okay, they're at high time frame support now. I can look at the smaller coins, buy them up, and then hope that someone just buys into into it next, and then kind of the illiquidity of the markets just kind of does the rest, right? So let's say you buy a small coin, I don't know, let's say ARK for example, at the bottom, right? And someone buys 5 Bitcoin and it wicks up crazily, and then there's really nothing to sell anymore because like no one really gives a shit about these coins anymore. So you get bigger moves, right? And then you just have to find someone to sell to at the tops, um, which is usually easier than actually getting in at the bottoms because people get super excited at the tops. So you usually get someone that is very happy to buy off of you. Well, it's sometimes hard to fill the bottoms. So yeah. So Don, do you have some sort of time frame? When will we see the big move? Um, I think it's actually going to be quite soon. I've said the same thing last week, so don't take it like take it with a grain of salt. But we've got a rejection off of this trading range, and we've got a bearish retest or whatever you want to call this on the 3 day. So you've got some confluence here. Um, that makes me think whether it's up or down, it's probably going to happen like in the next. Oh, geez, I don't want to say anything, but it's probably going to happen relatively soonish, like in the next 2 weeks, I guess. Just given that once this gets invalidated and we move higher, it's probably going to squeeze a little, and then we might at least get like a move to 9.7 or something. Um, or it's just going to start accelerating from here on onwards if it's bearish. So I think it's going to be boring, maybe a little bit more, but not too long. But could be completely wrong on that. I think one of the reasons why this isn't really moving much is because a lot of people have been trading the volatility contracts. So it just makes sense, like if to kind of keep this in a trading range and then farm people that try to play the volatility moves on, for example, FTX and stuff. So like a lot of people were like, okay, this has to break out soon, buy the volatility, and then they get wrecked, right? Because it really doesn't have to, can take a long while. Scam season, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, who knows? I just hope it does it soon because it's starting to get boring. And I mean, I had my vacation, so it usually does me the favor of at least moving after I'm back. Gemini Twitter hack? No, don't. Jesus, no. Oh my god! Like if that keeps going on, like I would be surprised if my account got hacked too. What the fuck? He even retweeted it, so there's definitely something going on. So yeah, scam season. People get scammed left and right. Not fun. people have been saying CZ as well. I mean, I can't check because I'm blocked, but yeah, might have to put out a tweet or something. Okay, I think that helps. I hope it does anyway. Oh, jeez. That's some fucked up shit. Hope that stops happening. Um, what's if you and UBT? It seems to be making comeback. I don't even know what you're talking about. Is that a coin? Am I being stupid? Dude, it's on Hit BTC. Nah, dude. I mean, maybe, but it's only on Bittrex and Hit BTC. I don't trust. Like, I like Bittrex, but I mean, there's little fuel there, I think. So yeah, everything is kind of moving. You've at least like the small coins are moving. You've got at least some volatility to take care of to kind of play. Um, so there's something to do, I guess. I don't really like these kind of plays, so I'm just chilling. Um, but there's some good moves like VeChain, ICX. Like you've got some bigger moves. XTC's been moving a little bit today too. Um, so you can look out for like the coins. Like we talked about this before. Like the coins that tend to move big when sentiment is bullish. Those are the ones that you want to be looking for buys if you're trading this kind of stuff, right? So, I mean, the obvious ones, like when you see the ones that have a community, pretty much, because they're the ones that are gonna be excited, kind of start buying. I don't know how Digibyte's been doing. Let me check it out. Yeah, Digibyte's not been doing well. Not been doing too poorly. Um, So yeah, that kind of stuff. Like when you have a community in a coin, Link, for example, has one of the biggest ones. Those are the ones that you want to be focused on, and the ones that you want to be ignoring. Like Litecoin, for example, used to have a big community. Now, not so much anymore. Um, those are the ones that you want to avoid as long, I think, as they don't look like. Let's say this moves really, really far down. Then I think Litecoin's actually going to be bigger, like a better choice than all the other ones because these coins like they don't tend to move unless they move really really hard. So this kind of stuff, and I mean XRP is even better than Litecoin in this regard. Like these kind of pumps here, those are the ones that you want to be looking for, and I think you get these pumps off of capitulation only, and or like 90% of the time, so it makes sense to wait for them, right? So yeah. Went through a few coins. Any questions? Any kind of anything that you want to talk about? Because really, like Bitcoins, I can talk about that in a few minutes. In general, have everything that is happening kind of rounded out in like 5 minutes. So it doesn't really make much sense to talk about it too much. And then the majors, like other than saying okay, like 80% of them are really bearish. There's nothing to talk about there too. And then you have these smaller coins that don't really have too good of setups, I think. So it's not really there's not really too much for me to talk about. I think like finding these setups um, in the middle of the move pretty rough because yeah, I don't really like buying into middle of the move. Twitter's Google Authenticator. Are people not using it? Weird. I mean, who knows, right? Maybe their recovery email got hacked or some shit. I mean, I don't know. Don't you think that majors could lose place for the emerging DeFi coins? No, I think DeFi, like, I mean, I don't. It sounds like it, like most of it anyway, sounds like a giant Ponzi to me. Um, put in money to make more money, that kind of shit. Like, it's never played out well in crypto. Um, there's a reason why, like, most, like, Bitcoin's been, like, has stuck around. Like, I mean, in general, crypto, a lot of cryptos have this kind of Ponzi feeling to them, but the DeFi coins especially. So like I have in my head, I have alarm bells ringing. I mean, they might be doing well for the next few weeks to months or whatever, but I don't think they're gonna end well. But maybe that's just like maybe it's just me not understanding it right. But I've been in this market for long enough to know like or like to have a good feeling about when something is um, sounds like better than better than it actually is, and when people overpromise something, and I think I have that feeling for a lot of the DeFi stuff. I think it's like there's good trades to be had, but if you're looking for it long term, very difficult for me anyway. So just like for me, it sounds dangerous, and I don't want to be too involved in it. But I could be missing out on something really cool. Who knows? Coinbase hacked now too. Oh man, dude. Yeah, this is bad. Like this is such a bad. The bad thing about crypto is you can't prevent this shit, right? So I mean, it seems like, and I mean, I'm sorry for like kind of going off topic here and going back to the Twitter stuff. Yeah, and this is the kind of the funniest thing for me, I think. So like it's like a super big attack, and Larry says it well. Like it seems like a really sophisticated attack, um, and they've only made 3.4. Like so, for some, like the crypto scammers kind of running out of fuel, right? Everyone kind of knows that they shouldn't be sending shit to people. Is there anything you're going long on? Not currently, no. I don't really feel like it. Like I'm expecting Bitcoin to like when Bitcoin moves, these coins are gonna do poorly regardless. So if it goes up, I don't want to be long an altcoin Bitcoin pair. If it goes down, I I don't see it do much better than when Bitcoin goes up. So like for me, the longer you wait, like if you have a good setup and you play it, just know that there's a time limit on it. I think so. The longer, like the later you get in, the worse it gets, and then you might have the most beautiful setup, but once Bitcoin starts like mega pumping or mega dumping, and it's gonna do one or the other after this consolidation, um, you're gonna wish you wouldn't be in altcoins. So I mean, there's good setups, but there's a time limit on them, and I think time limits like this might continue for 10 20 days, and there might be like 2x's or 3x's on some of the coins, some of the illiquid ones anyway. I mean, play them if you like nothing wrong about it. It's just not what I plan on doing. What do you make of Bitcoin no longer rising with the in line with the SPX? More bearish confluence, yeah. So something that has been happening lately is, and the reason why, like Bitcoin, you see this kind of stuff, right? And you're like, oh, Bitcoin goes back up. The reason why it's been doing this, and I don't even have to look at the SPX, I just know, is because the SPX bounced, right? So you have the SPX. dump off, and we can even overlay this, right? Now we can use Binance, whatever. So Bitcoin sells off, the traditional markets sell off, and then the traditional markets bounce, Bitcoin bounces, but the bounce is much weaker, right? So this is something you want to look out for whenever you have something correlated. I mean, just look at it. Like the traditional markets got all the way back to the breakdown point, and I know that's 5-minute charts, but regardless, and Bitcoin just stopped halfway. So this is where Bitcoin, like this is where they broke down, right? And Bitcoin went all the way up here, while the traditional markets went up there. So it's not something that you want to see as a Bitcoin bull. It's not too scary, I think. It's not on too much like on that kind of like big scale. But as you can see, like traditional markets went up, Bitcoin went up like this to this, and up here to down here. You can kind of see the difference there, right? So traditional markets up, Bitcoin down, and in general, Bitcoin down, traditional markets up. And I mean, this was the past, right? This was how it used to be, where Bitcoin pretty much did the same thing. So definitely gotta keep watch on that. I think it's underrated to look at the SPX in general. Like I said in a previous stream, you gotta see and know whether Bitcoin's at the SPX is at resistance or not, right? So if you have high time frame SPX resistance, you don't want to be long Bitcoin right now. But yeah, it's not too terrible. It's just, I mean, look at the SPX, right? Like, I'd be surprised if anything could keep up with this. Still thinking like we're probably gonna top around here for the SPX, but it's not my market. I could just keep on pumping. But I think like this area, and I tweeted about it like literally here last time, dumped off, came right back into it. But I think this area, big resistance. That's another confluence for not really wanting to be long Bitcoin. I think. So yeah. Any other questions other than like talking about exchanges and stuff? Like, I feel like everything's hacked on Twitter right now. Yeah, CZ hacked, Coinbase hacked, Gemini hacked, SM being a troll. So yeah, if there's anything from my account, just ignore it, right? The area just marked as the weekend gap. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not gonna be sitting here explaining stuff and I'm being super like million times accurate when looking for this stuff. But I mean, it's the idea that counts, right? You saw the 5-minute chart, for example, and I mean, we could make this. Let me pull it up again. This SPX, this Bitcoin on a large time frame. Can you even make it on the daily? Yeah, you can. So I mean, just generally, you see how they're correlated, right? At least a tiny bit. Like topped out pretty much the same, dumped pretty much the same, pumped pretty much the same way, and now Bitcoin doing this since here, right? And the SPX is doing this. So that's definitely something to note, right? You don't have to go to the low time frames to kind of notice this stuff. or like even more if you want to like get really picky. The high here, the SPX is pretty much at the same level, and Bitcoin's been going down here. So that's the point I'm trying to make, right? CoinDesk as well, man. This is impressive, to be honest. Yeah, I'm honestly like I just waiting for this count to kind of get got as well. I'm just hoping no one falls for this shit. Kind of crazy, really. Unless this just found some kind of exploit, I assume. I mean, that's what I'd assume, that this is an exploit. So could get anyone really, but I'm just waiting for Elon Musk or something to tweet that kind of shit as well. Like the moment I see him tweet, I'll know that it's an exploit. So yeah, I mean, we talked about this stuff. There's really like, let me get this rid of this. These altcoins, right? This is, for example, this is Dash, right? Dash was one of the first movers, moved into the new year, right? And this is actually like this is what's been happening on all these altcoins. We've hit high time frame supports, and then we rallied right into high time frame resistance. And given the fact that this moved down 90%, like it's not surprising that you get a bounce, right? Like this down here, you'd be like, oh yeah, like if you shorted all the way down here, you'd be like, yeah, I could see this go and retrace like 30%, 40% of this entire move down. But the moment it starts pumping, people get really, really excited saying it's in the lows in, right? And then it just keeps on going down again. And that's been happening pretty much the entire way down. For some reason, it's really hard for people to kind of trade with the trend for these altcoins. Um, and I mean, trading with the trend on the altcoins is just not buying them high time frame. I mean, you can short them on like Bitfinex and some others offer like short opportunities for these coins. I don't even know if you can short Dash, but like from a swing trader perspective, right? Like for someone like me that tries to buy these coins and then hold them for like 9 months or something, this is not what I want to see. Like if this keeps going like this and then dumps down and goes back up, that's what I want to see, right? Then I can buy this and hold it for at least like 2, 3, 4 months and expect higher, but not like this, right? This is just hitting support, rallying into resistance. Could this be a bottom? Obviously, right? But every kind of pump that we've had on any kind of altcoin, people have been shouting all season. And I think, I mean, on Twitter, for some reason, most people they're just like, okay, yeah, I've been stopped out break even when it starts going to shit. And then they made a lot of money on like buying the bottoms. For some reason, that works for pretty much everyone on Twitter. But someone has to be paying for them, right? And I mean, like, assuming that they're telling the truth, right? Someone has, like, on this way down, someone has to have bought these things and gotten shit on. So that's why my general advice, like, when you have this kind of bad trend, is wait for something drastic to happen. And I mean, Bitcoin's the best example, right? Wait for something drastic to happen, and it's really, really hard to do so. And I mean, I struggled with this as well. I bought down very low, and then sold way too early. But wait for something drastic to happen with altcoins. That's what I'm gonna do anyway. Like something stupid that doesn't make any sense, and then just buy it and pray to God that that isn't the exit. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be. But for me, like the biggest buying opportunities in this space have always been when something stupid happens that doesn't make any sense. And then the biggest selling opportunities are obviously the ones when something stupid happens Um, but that is actually harder to time than these stupid things, in my opinion. So, I mean, if you're a godlike trader and you can trade this stuff um, to perfection, right? You can buy the bottom of all of these. Like, for some reason, you buy every bottom and then sell every, like, when the coin moves 20% up and that's the top, you sell the top. And if it moves 500% up, you sell up there. I mean, knock yourself out, right? But if you're trying to swing trade this, um, on a long term, like a few months basis, um, I'd be waiting for something crazy to happen and then take advantage of the discount. And the worst thing that you can do, and that can happen to you, in my opinion, in crypto, is if you don't have the money prepared and you're not prepared in general to buy the crazy thing that happens. So, or like sell the crazy thing that happens in this case, right? But um, like this kind of stuff, when you get this kind of stuff and you think it's all going to zero, it usually tends to be really, really good for buyers, and yeah, vice versa. So for me, I always have money on the side to be able to buy something crazy like this. And I mean, this was the first time that I was really, really shaken out because I didn't expect it to go crazy like this. I expected it to go crazy like this, and that was kind of fulfilled down at 6K on 5K. And then when it went to 4K down here, and I bought, and it just went to 3K, that just kind of freaked me out, right? Um, so yeah, make a plan. Like, let's say Bitcoin starts crashing again. Where would you want to be a buyer? Like, where do you think it's like stupid cheap? And I mean, you don't have to expect that, right? Like if you were sitting there at 10K and you're like 3K is coming, I mean that's just unrealistic. But if it does come, you should be ready for it. Or like at least know what to do, right? If you're like long-term bearish, you don't want to be a buyer there. But if you're long-term bullish, I mean that's a great opportunity, right? And I think it's the same thing for the altcoins. You see an altcoin like Litecoin, and you're like, I don't dislike Litecoin. Um, you should be thinking, okay, what's like, where does it go when it goes completely nuts, and is that something that I would want to be buying? And I mean, I know that like the cycle low down here, anything below that would like be an insane buy, I think. So I'd be buying that, and then just hope it doesn't go to zero, right? Um, does that mean it has to happen? Obviously not, right? Oh, Angelo back tweeting again. Let's see. What the this is cryptancy. Fucking hell, dude. This is not a smart idea. But I mean, he does it all the time. Um, so what did I want to look up? Oh yeah, Angela. Nah, didn't tweet. But yeah, that's just how I look at the altcoin market. I mean, it's the same for Bitcoin, really, but you don't really get those opportunities often, and it's really hard to take advantage of them. Um, but yeah, I think it's the best way to make money in crypto is wait for something stupid to happen, because there's always gonna be something stupid that happens, right? If you don't expect something stupid to happen, you're gonna get rolled over, and then you're gonna be shitting your pants at the lows, and you're gonna shit your pants at the highs. Um, Bitcoin, and especially like crypto in general, is just is a place where stupid shit happens, and yeah, my advice is be prepared for it. Does that mean we're going straight to 1K? No. I actually think this is going to be the low for a long while, hopefully forever. Um, but, I mean, yeah. Nah, I think this is gonna be the low. Like, I mean, the lowest that I can see it go is down here again, the support. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Like the best bet that you're gonna get, I think, is 6150. Does this buy the low also apply to the USD pairs? I mean, yes. I like to trade the Bitcoin pairs because it's just way more obvious. If you look at the USD pairs, right, that's the reason. We can go over this real quick. The reason why a lot of people don't look at, like, for example, let's say Litecoin USD. Litecoin USD is traded, right? It's not like this isn't traded. The reason why people don't look at this is because really um, because really it's only like it's a soft copy of Bitcoin, right? Because when Bitcoin goes up, the USD pairs go up as well, even if the Bitcoin pairs underperform or something. So what you're gonna see is you have a high here, you have a high here, right? It's actually literally at the same date that the high was set, right? Then you have the shakeout down here, same kind of thing, right? The high here is the Bitcoin high, it's the Litecoin high. It's always gonna be the same, obviously, because they're so heavily correlated. I mean, Bitcoin does well, crypto generally goes up against USD. So if you're trading the altcoins, you're not really trying to make more USD. I mean, you obviously like. I mean, that's what you're generally trying to do when you're trading. But the goal of trading altcoins is outperforming Bitcoin, not trading Bitcoin, not being correlated to Bitcoin, whatever. You're trying to outperform Bitcoin. So when do you want to buy altcoins? When they're doing well against Bitcoin. You don't want to be a buyer of altcoins just because the USD pair goes up if it actually underperforms Bitcoin, right? So that's something you got to keep in mind. Don't be an idiot and just be like, don't be an idiot focused on the USD pair because, I mean, if you're focused on the USD pair, you're really happy that you bought Litecoin on the 16th March, right? You're really happy that you did. And then you look at how high it went up and you're like, oh yeah, this is 28% up. This is really good, right? Um, but really what you did is you get absolutely smashed, right? One, you took more risk because altcoins are inherently more risky. Two, you made 20% while Bitcoin made 70. So you should have not been in Bitcoin in Litecoin. You should have been in Bitcoin. That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? If you see a good setup on an altcoin pair, on the USD pair, and you make money with it, I mean, I'm never gonna say that's bad, right? But it's not the optimal trade to take, and that's something to keep in mind because really, like when you're putting money somewhere, you're trying to maximize, like you minimize your risk and maximize the return, right? And what you're doing when you're buying solely based on the USD pair, while the Bitcoin pair does look really bad, is you have higher risk because it's an altcoin, and you have lower reward because the altcoin Bitcoin pair does look bad. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Something like in general, I mean, you're gonna be happy that you made 20%, and I'm not gonna say that's a bad trade. It's just I'm just saying like you always gotta have like some sort of perspective on it because if you're solely focused on this, you're missing a lot of info. Like if you're only focused on this, you don't really see straight up how it's doing like against Bitcoin, right? You're just seeing okay, this goes up, this goes down. It's pretty much Bitcoin. So you have less information on the USD pair than like if you look at the USD pair alone, you have less information than if you look at the Bitcoin chart and the altcoin Bitcoin charts. Okay, so enough of that. This looks pitiful, dudes. This is kind of funny. I haven't looked at this in such a long time. Look at Litecoin, Bitcoin for a while. Litecoin, Bitcoin. It's already invaded my mind. Litecoin, USD. So what you see on this chart, right? The typical kind of insane run. I mean, this is nuts, right? I mean, this is 10K%, right? This is crypto. And then the retrace that follows after. The thing is, like, even if it retraces down to like $12 or something, I mean, it's still up a shitload, right? Like, let's say this goes to $12, it's still up times three from the times in 16 and 17. But generally speaking, what we've got on this chart is, and this is the last time I was really interested in Litecoin, was where we undercut the support and then started rallying into it. Actually, the last time I was interested in Litecoin was this, where we had the Litecoin, or what was it again? The fundamental thing, whatever, halving. I think there was a halving, where we bounced from the support. But what you can see here is like you have this undercut of support and then reclaim it. That's usually really bullish, so you get a really nice move. This is the stuff that you want to be looking for, like high time frame support, gets undercut, gets reclaimed. You have consequent is completely the wrong word, but you have candle closes after the fact, like after reclaim of the support, and then it goes up. And what happened here is you have a test of that support again, which isn't a bad buy, right? Because whenever you get something like this, price crashes through support and then rallies straight back up, usually this is a good buy. Like usually this retest of the support, because this isn't really a retest, right? It's just an immediate retest. I like on a longer term kind of basis, this isn't really a retest for me. But yeah, this was the first retest, right? In here. That's not necessarily a bad buy. I think like I like to take those. The moment I get kind of nervous is when this support level gets disregarded multiple times, one, and then even worse is like this reclaimed again, right? So you have a reclaim again, but the bounces off of that support go lower and lower and lower. So kind of start seeing something like this. Weaker bounces, not something you want to see. That makes me think like first I'm like, okay, this is the shakeout, right? The moment we start trading back above, I'm like, this is the shakeout. We retested, I'm like, okay, this was the shakeout, it's still good. I'm expecting higher, right? It goes higher. But the moment it starts retesting like this, where it's breaking the support, I'm like, okay, this was the shakeout. Like, if this was the shakeout, should this really have happened? And the answer is no. Like, you shouldn't crash back into it. And then, even less, what I want to see is the support being tested a million times. That doesn't mean it has to go down, but for me, the likelihood of this going down in general is higher than it going up. But I could be wrong on that. It's still at support. I mean, that's why I'm like saying don't short it. Like I wouldn't short this, but I'm waiting for something crazy to happen, and then I'm looking to buy that crazy thing, whatever it is. And if it goes up, it goes up, right? There's always the next crazy thing that happens, and a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, you're never gonna get another chance again," right? It's just not the case, right? Like there's always good Bitcoin trades, there's always good altcoin trades. Like crazy things happen. I mean, this just exchange specific, but you still get these crazy moves down. You've had them always, and then you even had like bigger and crazier moves in between. Okay, I think that's enough for me. I've had a long day, long week in general. A lot of climbing. It was really fun. So I'm gonna take it easy. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming by. Appreciate the sponsor of the show, Bybit, a lot because they make this happen and it's fun. And they don't make me do anything that I don't want to do. So big shout out to them. Really happy to work with them. It's been nice. And thanks to you guys for coming by. Really appreciate that as well. I mean, the market's been pretty boring, so you listening to my rambling is makes me happy. Thanks for the good questions as well. Always nice. Like whenever there's not much to talk about, it's always nice to kind of have something to fall back on. And you guys have been excellent. So thanks for that. And I'll see you guys on Friday with Cred and maybe a guest. So yeah, thanks a bunch for coming around. See you guys next time. Bye bye.